So today I want to chat to you about one of the biggest buzzkills in business, and it's no-shows. So we've all been there, prepped, ready, looks like you've got a full diary, and all of a sudden somebody does not show up. And there's nothing quite like it to kill your buzz, kill your momentum. And of course, it's wasted time, wasted prep time. As I say, kills your momentum, gaps in your diary. It's driving your cost per acquisition up, and effectively it's losing you revenue and profitability as well. Now, the super good news with this is there's some really simple fixes that we can put in place to help you to get around this no-show problem. So I'm speaking with business owners at the moment that have a no-show rate as high as 23%, and we've actually managed to reduce that to just 8% with some very simple mechanisms and tweaks to the way that they go about things. And the key here as a business or a clinic owner is to just get, first of all, into the psychology and the mind of your customers and clients and try to understand what are the reasons that they're not showing up in the first place. Now, if we can do that, we can very easily get around it and solve the problem. And in my experience, typically there are 5 reasons that people do not show up for calls, bookings, treatments, appointments. So they tend to fall into 5 reasons. So we're going to run through those. Hopefully, if you understand those in a little bit more detail, we can come up with some systems and mechanisms to get around this exact no-show problem, because it really is a headache for most people. Now, number 1, the first reason that people do not show up is they didn't know that there was a call or a booking in the first place. So if they don't know about it, they're obviously not going to show up for it. Very simple. And number 2 is they either, if it's a call, now people, I forget this myself because I'm quite technical. People aren't always as technical as you think, and people, clients, customers often need things spelling out to them. It could be, number 2, that if it was a call, they couldn't join it. They didn't know how to join it. If it was a Zoom call, a Google Meet, for instance, or if it's an in-person appointment, they didn't know where to go, or they couldn't find you, or it wasn't obvious enough. And I've seen this time and time again. People that are so late for an appointment that they almost find it embarrassing to actually show up or to get in touch. Again, easily fixable, super easy to get around that one. Number 3 is they are confused or they've gone off the idea. And I've done this myself quite a lot. So scenario for me is I'm constantly signing up to different webinars and online events, free things via lead magnets that people offer. I add the link to my calendar. This might be, I don't know, let's say 3 weeks ago. And when the time comes, the link doesn't explain what it is. There's no information on it. And I'm busy, like we all are, and I click on it and I think, do you know what? I don't know what it is anymore. I'm confused. I can't be bothered. And the same thing works in your business. So if there's any lack of clarity around what the call is about, if it's a treatment, if there's any lack of clarity around what somebody needs to do, what's going to happen, how many treatments they're going to need, any what you call kind of ambiguity and confusion increases the amount of no-shows. So psychologically, if someone has reservations, they're confused, they're not sure, they're quite likely to not show up. Simple as that. Another one is they are overwhelmed or scared. And again, I'm going to talk to both business owners and clinic owners specifically here. If somebody feels overwhelmed by the information and they feel out of their depth, or like it's going to be too technical, for instance, or that they're not going to be able to afford the end thing, the end result, service, offering, another reason why they don't show up. So again, sounded interesting at the time when they booked it, they're overwhelmed. Same thing with treatments or appointments. So one thing that you find with treatments and aesthetics procedures in particular is women or men see the end result, and it might be that they've got a particular concern about themselves, what they look like. They really want the end result, but they are a little bit scared. So the procedure and the idea of the procedure itself is worrying them, scaring them, and because they didn't have any degree of kind of reassurance, they've booked an appointment and in the middle have gone off. They've kind of thought about it and kind of got kind of buyer's remorse before they've actually had the treatment. And rather than get in touch with you proactively and tell you, as we know with clients and customers, often they just think it's easier not to show up. Rude as that is, I know, because it is rude really, let's be honest. And number 5 is they don't see any value in it, in the thing, the end thing. Now, if that's a product and service, it could be that they've forgotten, they're not quite as hot on the idea, the moment's passed, they don't understand exactly what it is that you're going to do for them, to put it very, very, very simply. And it's exactly the same with the treatment. So if you book them in for a treatment, they don't understand, or they're not convinced that it's going to have the impact or the results that they first thought, or, you know, they've changed their mind. And again, super, super simple to get around every single one of those 5 things. There is, I guess, a 6th one, which is just something unavoidable cropped up. And that's why as a business or a clinic owner, you'll always have some amount, just being honest here, but some amount of people that don't show up for appointments or bookings or calls with you. And the great news here is that there are some super simple fixes that we can put in place for every single one of these 5 reasons, with the exception, of course, of the 6th. So I'm just going to start and give you some ideas and talk you through my game plan for reducing no-shows. And if we think about reason number 1 that people don't show up, it's quite simply that they didn't know there was an appointment in the first place. The best thing you can do as a business owner, a clinic owner for this is make sure that you have very, very good quality confirmations going out. And when I say confirmations, ideally you would hit them up across 2 different channels, being text and email. If you want to go one further, even better would be you'd send them 3, so you'd include WhatsApp as well. Now, WhatsApp in the UK, if you're not using that as a business, is a super successful channel for customer and client communications. Much, much better in terms of open rate, typically, than either email or text message. So good would be email and text message concurrently. As soon as you book an appointment, you should be automatically sending a booking confirmation. Now, what you should also be really, really conscious and wary of is, does your confirmation include the word confirmation and your business name? Sounds really obvious, but the amount that I see that don't is just absolutely insane. Some other points around the confirmation. Are you doing it and writing it in your own tone of voice? Does it sound like you? Does it have personality? The more that you can build a connection with this customer or client and instill some level of personality and not be forgettable, the more that you can do that, the better. And there's lots of different ways. So think about the language that you're using. Think about the words that you use to address somebody. Are you personalising it with their name? Ultimately, your aim in this confirmation is to not be bland, vanilla and forgettable. If you are, you're just forgettable and the whole appointment and situation is utterly forgettable. If you're sending things like email reminders, something that works really, really well is an embedded link to either a photo or ideally a video. So if you can send a confirmation that includes a video that gives lots and lots of information, it just builds a connection. And while we're on the subject of information, you want to, in this confirmation, include as much information as you can on the call or the treatment itself. So you want to reduce any ambiguity whatsoever on who the treatment is with, where it is, what's going to happen, what date and time it is. So just review your confirmations, your messaging, and think about it from the customer's perspective. Put yourself in their shoes and think, does the customer or client have absolutely everything that they need prior to this appointment? Are they going to be absolutely crystal clear on everything to do with the appointment? Because it's easy to overlook these things as a business owner. When it's something that you do day in, day out, it may seem very, very obvious to you. Simple things like how long it's going to take, where it is, as I say, who's going to do it. Clarity reduces no-shows. So that's what we're aiming for. And the final point on confirmations is there a link within your booking confirmation to actually add it to a calendar? And I've been there and done this myself relatively recently. I've booked in calls with people via a site link, a Calendly, can't speak, link, and there's been no option to add it to my calendar. A week has passed. Next thing I know, I've accidentally not showed up for an appointment and got a call chasing me. Are you joining the call? And you can imagine, I've thought, oh shit, how rude. And this was simple to cure. All I needed, and I would have showed up, was a simple link to add it to my calendar, and it then obviously serves as a visual reminder. So another way that you're going to reduce your no-show rate and percentage. Link to add it to people's actual Google or Outlook calendars. Works wonders. Second thing is just considering your booking timeline. And whatever it is that you're offering, what I advise business owners here is, if the appointment or the service or the call is too far in advance, you will get an increase in your no-show rate. And it's just obvious. Everybody's busy, and if you're offering an appointment or a service 8 weeks away, a hell of a lot can happen in 2 months. There's an increased percentage chance that something happens, could be anything. Customer changes their mind, doesn't see the value in it, doesn't have the money for it. So there's a kind of phrase which is strike while the iron is hot, and anything that you can do to reduce the window, as in the amount of time between somebody booking and the actual thing, the service, the call, the appointment, the shorter that window, the more likely somebody is to show up for it. And there's another tip here which came from Alex Hamosi, which is something that I coach a lot of business owners and my clients with in terms of their workflows and their customer journeys and their pipelines, which is, if they have spare slots and availability slots, let's just say tomorrow, the next day, going through future bookings and trying to pull them forwards. And that looks like a simple outbound call or text message that says, hey there, Emma, I know you've got Botox booked in next Friday. I just wondered if you'd be interested in coming in tomorrow, as I've had a couple of cancellations. Pop me a message back and let me know. So, it's like a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush sort of scenario. So the better that you can pull them forwards in terms of that sales cycle and pipeline and actually get them in, the better you're reducing that no-show rate as much as you possibly can. So simple tip and little trick for you there. Another thing is make sure that you are making your calls and your bookings and treatments available, as in maximizing on your availability to make it as convenient as you can for your clients and customers. So there seems to be a little bit of a trend at the moment in terms of coaches and personal trainers that I work with, which is this mad craze, and I get it from a marketing angle. It's leaning into, the concept of exclusivity. So I'm hearing people say, I don't want to show full availability and that I'm available all hours. I want to make it look like I'm in demand and I'm only available for 20% of the working week. If you're super successful and you truly are and you're that in demand and that booked up, that's amazing, good for you. If you're just starting out though, and you're trying to get more bookings in, why on earth would you be reducing your availability? It is actually a deterrent to potential clients and customers, because it means that you're reducing your availability. There's less likely to be crossover. And, what we forget is we're busy, clients are busy. Maximize your availability wherever the hell you can. Now, if you're a clinic owner, that, whilst it might be inconvenient, super simple tip again, if you're looking for high value leads in the aesthetics industry, in the beauty industry, are people that often work full time and have a high amount of disposable income. But the issue is, if they work full time and you're only opening your clinic, let's say 10 till 2, it's the middle of the working day. High-powered professional women that have a lot of money to spend on treatments are not going to want to visit your clinic within those hours. And if there's a competing clinic that, let's just say, offers late night availability and bookings till 8 or 9 p.m, that's the clinic that they're going to head to. So thinking very much about who your ideal client is and when they are going to be most likely to show up for your thing, be it a call, a treatment, a service, an appointment. Are you available when your typical customers are available, and is it convenient to them? Now, again, little anecdote, I've done it myself. I sign up to webinars and free calls quite a lot. And to me, my ideal is that calls and webinars and things like that, coaching calls, learning, training, happens on an evening. So it doesn't interfere with the middle of my working day. Now, occasionally, if something sounds super interesting to me, and let's say a free webinar, I will sign up to it if it's at, let's say, lunchtime. But the chances are, when it actually comes to it, really, it was inconvenient to me in the first place, and therefore I don't show up for it. So that's a great tip there. Make sure you are available, and when your clients are available, and that it's convenient to them. If it's a webinar or a series of trainings or something like that you've done, even making sure that you've got some availability lunchtime, mid-afternoon and evening time is a good call in terms of getting sign-ups, getting bookings and reducing no-shows as well. Really important one next, possibly after confirmations and good quality confirmations, the most important thing of all, which is booking reminders. And so many businesses overlook the relevance and the importance of this. And if there's just one thing that you take away from this whole thing around reducing no-shows, it's put one simple pre-booking reminder in place. Ideally, again, just like the confirmation, in a very, very, very ideal world, you'd have text message, email and WhatsApp. And again, in a very, very, very ideal world, you'd hit them up 3 times, 24 hours before, 3 hours before and 1 hour before. Now, if you can't do all of that, if it's too complex for you, it's really not, by the way, and I could help you with that. But if you just do one thing, send them a pre-booking reminder, personalised with their name, with what they've booked in for 24 hours before the appointment. And what we've seen where we've implemented this for clinic owners is we've reduced the no-show rate by half just by sending everyone one simple text message. That's all it takes. As we all know, and I keep saying, everyone is busy, everyone is overwhelmed, everyone's doing far too much in this day and age, and one simple text message will probably reduce your no-show rate by about 50%. As I say, the super ideal world is it's a really personalised pre-booking reminder, and you send 3 of them across as many different channels as you can, personalised in your tone of voice. Again, if you can add value and build trust and credibility as a part of these messages, that's even better. So for instance, if someone's booked in for lip filler and you simply send them an email that adds value, it could be a simple email: thanks for your booking, can't wait to see you in 24 hours. Just as an example, here are some visual examples of our past clients. It could then be some before and afters. Here's a link to our Google reviews, shows 5 stars in Google My Business. And again, as a potential client, I'm a bit scared of getting lip filler in the first instance. All of a sudden, it's a little tweak and a reminder that, oh yeah, that sounds good. I remember why I booked that in the first place. These results look good. This business, this clinic look like they know what they're doing. They've got 5 stars. They've got heaps and heaps of happy clients and customers. And it just instills an element of trust, confidence. And again, it's reducing the friction. It's reducing any reason in terms of the client psychology that's going to build up and make them not show up. So anything you can do to establish trust, confidence, credibility, get it out there, get it sent to them. You know, a customer isn't yours until they're actually there in the treatment room or on the call. So anything that you can do, keep talking to them is my advice at this point. Any information that you can give them pre-booking on what to expect, any reminders on what's going to happen during the procedure, the treatment, any preparation advice that they need, any aftercare advice. Again, get it out there. You want to make it absolutely crystal clear what is going to happen at the booking, the appointment, the treatment itself. Again, reassurance, make it as obvious as possible. And the final one, not relevant to every type of business, certainly relevant to some clinics and businesses where they are getting a lot of no-shows and a lot of appointment bookings and a lot of no-shows potentially. And that's, consider sending a link to take a deposit prior to the treatment. And where it's an expensive treatment or it's something that takes quite a lot of time, again, I leave this to the discretion of the business owner to make a choice on this. But what will definitely reduce your no-show rate is taking a token gesture deposit prior to the actual booking. That could be something as low as £10 or £20. Again, £10 or £20 on the price of a £300 treatment is nothing. And you might think it's a deterrent. Now, all of these sort of things we can play around with and analyse the data from, which is what I'd recommend. But often, if you've got a £300 treatment, what you find by taking just a small token deposit of £20 is the customer all of a sudden has skin in the game, so to speak. So they're a lot more likely to not want to lose the deposit and actually follow through and show up for the appointment itself. And again, that's a very, very simple action and workflow that we can help you with so that everybody, when they booking an appointment, actually gets a link to take a deposit. And again, massive reduction in no-shows as a result of that. So yeah, we're Crystal Digital. This is exactly the sort of work that we do every single day. We work with business owners to improve their systems, to make them more money, to give them a frictionless customer journey that's going to save them as a business owner time and money and maximise on revenue and profitability. So that's what we do. We build systems. That includes things like smart websites, smart booking systems, automations that nurture clients and follow up with them without you having to do anything on autopilot, and conversion systems that turn leads into actual booked clients for them. And what this does, in the case of no-shows, for instance, it reduces gaps in your calendars, it reduces you, it saves you no end of stress, headache, chasing around with customers, spending a fortune on ads, thinking that you've acquired customers that never actually make an appearance. And what I'm offering at the moment is a free, totally free, no obligation customer journey audit. So what I will do is spend half an hour on the phone with you as a business owner and understand what you are doing as far as clients, all the way from acquiring clients to actually selling them things. I will look at that journey in detail with you, analyse it, audit it, and show you where you are leaking revenue and what we can do to help you fix it. So if that sounds interesting and you'd like to book a free call with me, Kay at Crystal Digital Solutions, just pop me a message or click the link below, and I'd love to hear from you. And that's what we do. Fix broken systems and make you more money. Thanks for watching. I will hopefully see you soon.